Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome to Talking Boxing. Yes, it's not the usual studio. I'm actually in, not in a hotel, it's an apartment. And so forgive me straight off the bat, firstly for the camera, for the audio, and I'm hoping that the Wi-Fi is good as well. So, okay, so what I've done, I've gone off Ronnie's dodgy Wi-Fi modem connection, and I'm now using the hotspot on my phone. So again, if this is no good, let me know, because if this doesn't work, then we are officially cactus. So let us know just quickly. I'm going to wait a few seconds here. Let us know if you can read me loud and clear. So again, I'm using my hotspot on my phone, so let's hope. So someone comment and let me know you can see me, please. I'll get to a few comments as we go. Looks like we're okay at the moment. I'm not getting any notifications from the provider. So again, look, apologies, but I'm doing the best I can. We will continue on. Yes, Andrew, my DAZN moment. Yes, geez, that's pretty embarrassing, isn't it? Am I all right now, though, Andrew? Let me know. We'll get through some comments. Okay, so we can hear me. Can you see me, though, Kelly? Cal, that's the big question. Can you see me? Oh, geez. Okay. All right. We're back. See, there you go. Who needs these flash modems when I can just use my phone? So there you go. All right, guys. So again, apologies about that. Welcome to the show. Look, it's been a really eventful, what's it been, 3 days, I think it has. We got up here on Saturday night. We would have seen the vlogs anyway. We went to the press conference yesterday. We went to, what else was yesterday? I don't know. Today, of course. The open workouts were yesterday, press conference today, and the Q&A. So it's been a great time, and thank you to Mick Francis and Tasman Fighters. It's made not only myself but all the other content creators out there feel very, very welcome. And I know I've gone on about Mick Francis a lot, but just talking to others out there, Noonan Boy, Jay McAllister, Rob Scheif from Before the Fight. It's been fantastic. Let's start some comments, let's get into it, and let's hope that my connection stays okay. It's amazing when you go on the road how primitive you have to get to stay on air. All right, let's start with Damien. How are you, Damien? Welcome to the show. How's your trip? Looks absolutely amazing over there. Damn, 39 yesterday. Geez, 39 degrees, and now raining and shit in the massive range. Is that right? Oh, actually, I did get a message from my wife, Tara, today, who said that it was pouring rain. I haven't spoken to her since this morning. But there you go, up here, 28 degrees, hot, sunny, not a cloud in the sky. It's absolutely beautiful. So it was interesting, though, leaving Melbourne, which was obviously stinking hot, to come up here, which was just sort of so-so. But, geez, the weather's just... I can see why people move up here. I'm not so sure I'd like to live here. Great place to visit. But, geez, it's pretty full on. The touristy areas, yeah, not really my cup of tea. But anyway, yeah, Damien, sucked in down there, that's for sure, isn't it? There's Eminem in the chat. How are you, mate? That shirt is on the way, mate. I'm not sure it's been sent yet, but Tara was onto that, mate. So sure you'll get it in the next few days. What's up, man? I wish I was on the Gold Coast. Looks like a great event, but happy for your content to get my fix. Thanks, Eminem. Yeah, look, we're just... Like all the other content creators up here, we're just, again, really thankful to everyone for the hospitality. I mean, to the point yesterday, just little things like at the press, the open workouts. It was stinking hot out in the sun, no shade, whatever. You know, have the people coming around offering us water, and Mick Francis himself saying, "Hey, come on, have you seen Justice, or you've seen Jai, or you've got this, or you got that, mate?" It's just awesome. And even though I don't do a lot of the interview sort of stuff, talking again to those other guys like Noonan Boy and Jay and Rob Scheif, just the red carpet's been laid out to them. And as you've seen by a lot of their content as well, just free access and some really good interviews today. Like even today at the press conference and the thing at the pub, the Q&A. Eddie Hearn just mingling around, you know, having a drink and talking to people, and just fantastic. Ted Coffey had a chat to him, and just people are hanging around. It's just Anthony Mundine at the press conference today. Everyone's just so chill. It's been just a breath of fresh air. It's been great. What's this, Eminem? No Limit would have to be in absolute awe of this event on the Gold Coast. I'm not so sure, Eminem. Look, I've had my my digs at the M&M boys, the No Limit boys over the journey. But look, I was up here a couple of years ago, or 18 months ago, whatever it was. Actually, it might only have been 12 months ago, was it, for the Tszyu, Brian Mendoza fight, and same facility, same location, everything like that for the workouts. And look, I think both really, really good, but just in their own ways. I think No Limit might be a little bit sort of bigger and flashier of that sort of, I suppose, even though Tasman was really good, but I just think Tasman was probably a little bit more personal. Not so much Razzmatazz, just. But look, each to their own. I'm, whether it's No Limit or Tasman Fighters, just really grateful to be here covering the event. And I'm not sure they would have been in all, mate. But look, you can always take things from other competitors, and whether that's in this game or in what I do in the retail game or YouTubing, whatever it is, I think you can always take things from others and put your own spin on it and make it better or different, whatever it might be. But either way, mate, isn't it great that we've got No Limit doing their thing and we've got Tasman Fighters doing their thing, and we're comparing the two. It's just fantastic. All right, Andrew, just watching David Nyika's previous fights makes me think he's a sucker for Jai's right hand. Fight probably ends early. Yeah, look, there's always the chance there, Andrew, but I don't know. Look, while I think Jai gets the job done, and I think he does it in probably 7 or 8 rounds, I've got a feeling that just, look, call it a gut feel and body language, whatever it might be. I think David Nyika's he's gonna be there for the win. I just don't think as much will as he's got and as much maybe self-confidence that he's got, whatever it is. Him and his team look very confident. End of the day, as our old mate Noonan Boy says, there is levels, and I just don't think he's at the level at the moment. And even the Q&A and the press conference today with Eddie Hearn, Eddie actually said, this came out of the blue. It was not supposed to happen. Eddie didn't want this fight to happen, and obviously Mick didn't as well, because Nyika was under his umbrella as well. And I think what sort of happened was, of course, the stars aligned, things happen, and all of a sudden, Senkura, whatever his name was, I can't remember, the guy that pulled out, fate stepped in, and David Nyika got the phone call. And apparently what actually happened, I don't want to get too far behind here in the comments, but apparently what happened, they interviewed Noel Thornbury today, his trainer, and when the news came that there needed to be a replacement, that initially his trainer wasn't even really going to talk to him about it. And so he made the phone call, and David Nyika apparently said on the spot, just make it happen. So that's how it came about. Now, before I forget, we've got a super chat in there. Dennis Green, how you going there, mate? $10. Thank you very much, Dennis. That'll come in very handy with the price of everything up here on the Gold Coast. So I really appreciate that, mate. And anyone else that buys merchandise or does the super chat thing. I'm all new to this super chat thing, Dennis. I'm not quite sure how it all works. I think I'm doing it right. I know I'm supposed to put the comment to the top, all that sort of stuff. If I'm doing it wrong, let me know. But again, I really appreciate it, mate. So what's your comment there? Love the content. Buy Ronnie another block of chocolate. I appreciate that, mate. Well, that's probably about what a block of chocolate costs up here, mate. $10. But he's probably out on the balcony at the moment, making himself scarce at the moment. And big thank you to him as well, because he saved me a lot of money by putting me up here in his apartment, and it's a beautiful little apartment as well. And speaking of the blocks of chocolate, though, Dennis, and you'll probably see it in my vlog that I put up before, that I'll put up later. I bought 2 blocks last night. There was 2, actually it was 2 for 10 or 12, whatever it might be. So we got a couple of blocks of chocolate, sitting out on the balcony enjoying a couple of lines of chocolate, and forgot about them, left them outside, and got up this morning, and they were just mush. So not happy, because it was good chocolate too. So anyway, all right. So thanks again, Dennis. We'll go back to the top of the comments there. All right, so there's comments about my Wi-Fi. Let's, again, hopefully it's coming through loud and clear there, guys. All right, Cal. What's up? Evening, watching your Gold Coast adventures. Give our love to Ronnie. What a fit man he is. And this he won't like me saying this, by the way, but he's 83 years of age. And I hope I'm like that when I'm 83 years of age. Yeah, he can be a bit of a pain in the ass, Ronnie. Hello, if you're watching. No, I'm only joking. He's a pleasure to come up with. He's been my travelling partner for a lot of adventures. Probably 6, 7, 8 times have been either international fights or locally, domestically. And he doesn't really like the limelight, Ronnie, but it's too late now. You're a star. He's taking over walking boxing. He's probably going to take over my vlogs. But no, it's great to have him along. And again, thanks to him for the lodgings, because we're only about a 15-minute walk to Pacific Fair and the exhibition centre, and around here, I mean, you get on the boardwalk and it's just a lovely little trot down the road. It's really good, it's been fantastic so far. All right, so keep the comments coming there, guys, if you can. Yes, my design moment. Yes, what else have we got there? Yeah, I'm back there, Dennis. All right. Damien, so good so far. Jack, can we get Ronnie's rant back on the show, please? Ronnie's rant. I don't mind that, Jack. Well, mate, if you saw the video yesterday with the Hare Krishnas, oh my God, I just wanted to jump under the table, and he'll be embarrassed about me talking about this, but I think I put it on the vlog, didn't I? And we're sitting at this restaurant out on the Broadbeach Mall. If you've been to Broadbeach, you know it's the main mall or mall or whatever you say, and we're out in an outside cafe, and I'm having my pancakes. I think he might have had some toast or something, and the Hare Krishnas, I'm saying, oh geez, I wish these bloody people would get out, because they were banging the drums and the tambourines and singing and right in front of us, and I'm just sort of looking, and then I look up and there's Ronnie sort of doing this to the Hare Krishnas, Jack, and telling them where to go and to get lost. So, but I wanted to hide under the table, Jack. But that's that's third generation, I suppose. You don't mess with them. Good idea though, Jack. Ronnie's rant. I don't mind it. G'day, bacon and eggs. How are you there, mate? What do we think of predictions here, guys? Thanks, Adam. Love and appreciate your work. Really appreciate you joining in there, mate. And don't be shy. Put a comment in there about what you've seen so far. What do you think is going to happen with the fight on Wednesday? It's going to be good. Now, someone sent me a message today saying that, I haven't got it in front of me there, that the DAZN site where you buy the fight has crashed, or it's dark or something. I don't know, but let me know if you've experienced that as well. Because at the weigh-in tomorrow, I'll make Mick Francis aware of that, because he'd be horrified about that. I would think that you can't buy the fight. So I think so far, no, I was just going to say, I think they've been okay. Of course, they did the Usyk Fury fight a couple of weeks ago, and that was shocking. But I think overall they're not too bad. But they need to be better. They need to be better. You can't call yourself the major streaming combat sports or whatever sport out there that you claim to be, and your stream doesn't work properly. It just doesn't work. So I'll let them know. There's Jules. How are you there, mate? Good to see you blending seamlessly up into the content creation zone. However, the 4 and 20 and vanilla cake for dinner raised eyebrows. Well, not something I really wanted to do, Jules. I think I said on the video that we got there at about 8:31 or something, and the girl just said, sorry, can't help you. So we just went across, and that's the best I could do there, mate. Yeah, I'm with you. It's not the thing I really want to eat for dinner is a potato pie and have a vanilla Coke. So I don't normally drink much soft drink, to be honest. But as far as blending seamlessly into the content creation zone, mate, it was good. It is like a little community. I haven't really done a lot in Australia. I did the George Kambosos fight earlier last year. I think I did the Tszyu fight against Mendoza, but I don't think I've actually done a lot of content here in Australia. It's always overseas, and it is a little community, and it was actually great. I already knew, obviously, Jay McAllister, caught up with him over in the States. Noonan Boy, of course, I've gone away with him a couple of times. I'll meet him overseas a couple of times, but there's a lot of new ones getting around, and there was actually what looked like either a husband, wife, or a boyfriend, girlfriend type of thing. A guy I'd never seen in my life, and looked like he is obviously a fan of boxing, and looked like he dragged his missus along to film and stuff, and he had the microphones out. And again, while it's not really my thing, it's becoming more and more common, and there was probably, I reckon, 3, 4, 5 different sort of content creators, or it might have been more, 6, 7, 8 content creators I've never seen before at any event or doing stuff online. So I'm not sure whether they were international people or they were Aussies. I don't know, but yeah, I can see the day where it's going to be real competitive to actually get those interviews. And again, it's not my thing, and I just sort of step to the back and tape it all, and again just cover my experience. But geez, if I was actually like one of those guys, it gets pretty tough. I can see there being some issues going forward with trying to muscle in, because you've got to remember the fighters. It's fight week. They get sick and tired of the microphones in the face, so they don't really want to do a lot. So the competition's there to get to the front of the line or get that first interview, because as the interviews get towards the back end, the quality really starts to dip. You got 1 or 2 word answers, and you can tell they just don't want to be there. And there'll always be the Noonan boys and the Jai McAllisters, and before the fights, it'll obviously always probably get preferential treatment because they've been there since day dot. But it's those other 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at the back of the line. You can just see the elbows are starting to get in there, trying to get to the front of the line. So it's not something I would want to do. One thing I will say, Jules, though, is that that was pretty prevalent and noticeable is that it is only social media content creators here. I haven't seen 7, 9, or 10 here at all. I've seen no presence at all by channel 7, 9, and 10. And that goes to show where we're at, because when you go to a Tim Tszyu fight, they're everywhere. But I haven't seen any here. So thanks to Tara, by the way. She's keeping an eye on the super chat. So I apologise if I miss him. There he is, Andy. Welcome to the show there, mate. $10. Thank you very much. Another block of chocolate for Ronnie. Uncle Ronnie looks like great company. Ronnie's rant sounds great. Well, as I said, mate, you did get, if you were there, you did get a rant and a half. Replacement for Tassie's tirade. Subscribe, share, smash the like button. Thanks very much, Andy. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, well, hey, look, I think he actually gave Tassie a pretty good run for his money with the Ronnie's rant yesterday. And again, you'll be horrified that I'm actually talking about it. But I hope I'm not that cranky when I'm his age, Andy. But anyway. All right, let's go. So, yeah, as I was just talking about, yeah, the lack of presence by the major or mainstream media is noticeable. And I don't know whether, Mick would be, well, obviously he's not going to be happy about it, but it's a concern. It's a concern that the mainstream have not just given a toss. I haven't seen any, from what I've seen, any reporters. I've seen obviously all the content creators, and you can tell them either way, of course, because they've got all the, the microphones and the cameras and everything else. And there's almost like a bit of a starters pack almost for being a content creator. You can spot them a mile away. But I haven't seen anyone actually doing written interviews or even with the phone or whatever it might be that look like reporters, actual reporters of the mainstream media. So, yeah, it's not a good state that we're in. It's really not. And it's actually, if I was Mick Francis, I'd be really disappointed in that. Now, having said that, maybe they need to employ a marketing firm or whatever it is to liaise with the mainstream media. I don't know, but it is, as I said, concerning that no mainstream presence at all. Damien, tell us how you really feel there, mate. Screw no limit, he says. All right, Paul, how do you think the amount of sparring they've done together affects the fight? Good question, Paul. Does it give the edge to either fighter? Not really, mate. I think they'd be, and I think from what I'm seeing and hearing from both guys, that they're pretty confident with what they've done in sparring. The issue is with that is that, and I think both of these guys would know, well, it's good to give you a bit of an indication of what the other guys got and what they've got to offer. End of the day, sparring, which is why I think I've said on here a few times, sparring, it means zero. It really does. And apart from, as I said, maybe just getting a bit of an idea of what they've got, don't ever listen to anyone who says, oh, but in sparring, he did this or he did that. It means nothing. Because in sparring, you might have, say, for instance here, Paul, you might have, let's just say, Jai, who is just getting into camp. He's probably only been sparring for a week or two, just starting to find his range, just starting to up the pace. And then they bring in David Nyika to spar him. Then David Nyika comes in, nothing to lose. He might have been doing some training, might get the better of Jai in a spar. That might happen. Or vice versa, that might happen as well. So all of a sudden, in this instance, David Nyika walks away going, I reckon I've got this guy's measure. I hit him, I maybe hurt him to the body, whatever it might have been. What he doesn't know, of course, is that Jai's been in camp for 2 or 3 weeks and is just starting to up his pace. So that's why I never take anything that people say about sparring seriously. And the other thing is, as well is that some fighters take sparring very seriously. And I know they all take it seriously, but what I mean more so is that they treat them almost like fights. They really use them, and other fighters just use it just purely just to get a bit of timing and speed and range and leverage, and maybe practice a few things they've been doing in camp. So there's all different levels of sparring. But when it comes to a fight, well, a fight is a fight. It's on, and that's stating the obvious, of course. But so that's why I think, as I said there, Paul, I think both guys would have walked away knowing what the other guy can do, but I think they'd be mature enough and experienced enough to know that it really means nothing. It really does. Which is why it makes me laugh sometimes where, you hear, who was it? Who was it? Dylan Briggs. Remember when he fought Nikita Tszyu, and the word was out, when they sparred, he dropped Nikita or hurt Nikita or wobbled Nikita, whatever it was. Well, we all saw the fight, and it was one-sided. It was a one-sided beatdown, because a fight is a fight and sparring is sparring. And I've seen it, I won't get too far behind here in the comments, but I've seen it firsthand myself. And I remember distinctly going to, it was at the Wildcard Gym in LA, of course, in Hollywood. And there was a fighter then, I can't remember who it was. I knew him well, but not well enough to remember his name, of course. So, but Reyes or something, I can't remember. A really nice guy, but he was sparring for a big fight coming up, or a big-ish fight, and he did 12 rounds, and each round he did something different. From the outside on one round, on the inside of another. He had a round where he was just throwing jabs. He had a round where he was on the ropes. He had a round of doing everything. Well, just because his opponents might have got the better of him in the spar, does it really mean anything? It probably doesn't. So, but again, mate, I'm sure just to get a look at each other, that would give him an idea of what they're up against anyway. All right, Eminem, you were talking about Alex Winwood this morning. I see he's fighting on March 14th. Yeah, he's back, Eminem. He's on I think it's a Dragonfire card, isn't it? So, good to see him back. I hope they just, maybe not necessarily pull him back too much, but just take a step back and maybe get him another 3 or 4 fights before they look at another shot at a world title. Because I can understand why they took the fight. They have to take the opportunities while they're there. But I think in hindsight, they would have given him another few fights. Or maybe the other way they were looking at it is that, or even if he loses the fight, he's young, inexperienced. There's going to be plenty of other opportunities. So just take the fight while they're there. But it's good to see him back, Eminem, that's for sure. There's Batman in the chat. Welcome to the show, mate. Great to have you along. Yeah, right. I didn't mean the way that come out. A couple of lines of chocolate. Couple of rose. I should have said Ryan. I've really phrased that wrong, didn't I? Yeah, that could be edited to look a bit different, couldn't it? So, all right, still with Eminem. Tim Tszyu back in the gym today at Tszyu Fight Club. Well, I didn't know that, Eminem, but that is fantastic news. That is awesome. And I think they will just ease him along and get him back into the groove of things. And that's fantastic news, Eminem, that he's back. So I think they'll probably want to get him in there by about March or April, from what I'm hearing. So, so this is obviously his first step back. And I just hope they just take their time. And even if he's not ready, I know physically he'll be ready in probably March or April, but even if he's not quite there mentally, just pull him back till May or June. It's no big deal, in my opinion anyway. Now, he might want to, or No Limit or his management want to actually get him there as quick as possible, just so it doesn't keep sort of manifesting in his mind about what happened last time out. Maybe it might be the good thing. It's a bit like, if you come across a shark in the water, if you're a surfer, they say don't stay out of the water too long, get straight back in there, because if you don't, you might not ever get back in. So maybe they might look at that, maybe take that approach with Tim in his comeback. Hey, mightn't be the greatest of opponent, but we've just got to get him back in there and get his mindset back to a winning mentality, or mindset, and then we can gradually step him up from there. So each boxer's different, and I'm sure his team know him better than anyone, of course, and I'm sure he'll be fine. All right, Andrew, your opinion, Hamza Sheeraz. I really like him, Andrew, but like a lot of these up-and-coming fighters, haven't seen much of him at the real elite level. I know he's had a couple of fights, but this fight with Adames will be a real test for him. It is Adames, isn't it? Yes, it is. Will be a real test for him, Andrew. I think he'll beat Adames from what I've seen so far, but these days, and I think we've all been burnt a little bit by these supposed superstars that look the goods, and they come up against someone that can actually fight, and they fall to pieces. So I think he's a real deal. I think he'll beat Adames. But my opinion of him is that he's the goods, Andrew. But I just wanted to see him get that belt around his waist, do a really good job on Adames, and I'd love to see him fight Lara or Janabek down the track. Damien, Nyika decision. That's very interesting, mate. Look, who did I speak to yesterday? I'm not sure I'll mention his name because I don't want to get him in the shit with anyone because he's one of the main camps that's on the show. I won't mention, but just in case, I don't want to betray his trust. But he said he knows a lot about David, done a lot of work with him, had fighters sparring with him, and he's picked Nyika as well by decision. And he's a very credible guy. So, hey, look, I've got no doubt he'll put up a great fight, Damien. I still think Jai will stop him at some stage. But really good guy. And one thing I'll say about David Nyika as well, and I met him for the first time yesterday, spoke to him again today. Absolute gentleman, a fantastic young guy. He was sitting by himself today after all it was all done, and a couple of people getting photos and taking some video and all that sort of stuff. And Ronnie wanted to get a photo with him, and he was so welcoming. I said, because Ronnie was like, oh, I don't know. And David said, mate, come on, it's all good. Let's get a photo. The other one, which I was really surprised, I know I'm not answering your question there, Damien, or your statement there. The other one was Terramona. What a character he is. Really, really nice guy he was. So he couldn't be more welcoming as well. And sometimes you forget, they're only humans, aren't they? They're only flesh and blood. We watch them on TV and everything like that, and they're just normal guys. And once you actually get to know them a little bit, and even though, again, I don't interview a lot of the guys, you get to see them, you say good day, you have a bit of a chat to them, and they open up a little bit more to you and become a little bit more welcoming, because they get a little bit defensive initially, but once you see them around and they, as I said, you shake their hand, say good day, they're really, really good guys. So, all right, what else have we got there? Andrew, Hare Krishna, they are. Well, surprisingly, Andrew, I didn't think they were still around. I'll take my hat off to them though, mate. It was a scorching hot day. They're all out. None of them had hats or anything. A couple of them had the orange gowns on that they pulled over their head, but most of them were just out, up and down, up and down, up and down. They all had sweat everywhere. You could see the sweat all through their gowns and everything. Very, very passionate, very, very, very friendly. Even when Ronnie was giving him the bird and telling him where to go, they took it with a smile and wished him all the best. Can you still believe he did that, Ronnie? Jeez, Ronnie. Anyway. All right. Frankie, have loved the Goldie visit. Wrap up already, mate. That was my old stomping ground. Thanks, Frankie. Appreciate it, mate. The other one should be up. I'll probably upload it. We're going to go for dinner after this because I didn't actually remember. Luckily, someone reminded me with the time difference, because I think, what is it, 7:30 down there? It's only 6:30 here. I was almost an hour late. So yeah, I'll probably go for something to eat, and then I'll upload it after that, guys. So look for it tonight sometime. But no, thanks, Frankie. Really appreciate that, mate. Eminem, Jai by KO round 5. Yep, okay. Early KO, says Andrew. I tell you what, though, Andrew, Jai, he's just got that look in his eye. He really does. He is a scary guy. And it's interesting, they interviewed Mick Francis today and Eddie Hearn about Jai and his change in persona. And even Mick said, geez, when I first took him on, he was the nicest guy and polite and such a gentleman, and he's still a gentleman. But he said now he's just nasty. He's just a nasty guy around this time of the fight. And Eddie said he doesn't like to go near Jai because Jai's still got a little bit of a bee in his bonnet over Eddie. He thought with Eddie, with the Jordan Thompson fight, they laugh about it now because they're all good, but Jai wasn't happy with Eddie because he thought Eddie was sort of setting him up to fail. And he said he walked out that night. And you probably remember the fight I'm talking about with Jordan, the walkout when he walked into the ring and he had this steely look on his face and he was just sort of marching to the ring. And apparently behind the scenes, he was pissed, really pissed that he thought Eddie had hung him out to dry. He even thought that Mick Francis had hung him out to dry to some extent and hadn't put him up in good hotel. Well, not that he's a diva, but he was dirty that he wasn't in as good a hotel as some of the other fighters were at. He wasn't happy that, I can't remember some of the stuff they were saying, but at the end of the day, long story short, he wasn't happy with a lot of things, and he marched out there and he took it out on poor That's Thompson. What am I saying? Jordan Peterson. Jordan Thompson. And went out there and wiped him out in what, a round or whatever it was. And then Eddie got in the ring to pat him on the pat him on the back, and Jai flicked his hand away and told him where to go. And that's how pissed he was. And Eddie's like, okay. And they're all good now. But Eddie just says these days, he said, I don't even go near him unless he talks to me. I'll leave him alone. So it's fascinating stuff, isn't it? But he's got a mean streak, Jai Opetaia, and I've got a feeling, just on your comment there, Andrew, about the early KO, it wouldn't surprise me if he did do that, because I've got a feeling he feels almost insulted that David Nyika, who I would think he would view as a future opponent, but nowhere worthy at the moment, and I think he feels a little bit, as I said, insulted by the fact that they put Nyika in with him, and he's going to make an example of Nyika. So we'll see, but it would not surprise me either way, Andrew. It wouldn't surprise me if David puts in a really good effort, but also wouldn't surprise me if Jai gets him out of there early. So, all right, Eminem, I'm expecting Kambosos. Actually, just having said that, guys, sorry, I reckon I did see a comment I might have missed. All right, Cal, yeah, there it is there. Really looking forward to Jai and David's fight. It'll be man or mouse. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And look, the other thing Eddie Hearn did say today, Cal, is that it's like, as I said before, fate, the fortune. Like, he didn't want this fight for at least a year, if not 2 years. He wanted the fight to build, especially the Australia versus New Zealand aspect of it. But he just said, along with the undercard as well, some great fights on the undercard. He said it's almost like it's all come together, and we're going to get a super fight that probably would have taken place probably in Riyadh in another year or two's time, and we're going to get it on the Gold Coast in 2 days' time. So, and I know Eddie does talk it up a bit and is the ultimate promoter, isn't he? But even talk, or seeing him talk to people just on the side when there's no cameras rolling and stuff, he's genuinely excited about the fight, excited about what we're going to get, excited about both what these guys have got to offer. And it should be a cracker. But we'll see, mate. All right, what else have we got there? Eminem, okay, expecting Kambosos fight announcement during the coverage Wednesday night. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, Eminem. I spoke to Noonan Boy yesterday and today, who's really tight with George Kambosos, obviously. He's part of the inner sanctum. And I said, Noonan, where's the announcement, mate? When's the news dropping? What's going on? He just looked at me and winked and smiled and said, it's coming, brother. He said, it looks like the fight will be in March I think I'm allowed to say it, in Sydney. I'm not giving much away, but apparently it's going to be March in Sydney. And by the sound of things, it's going to be against a former world champion. Now, Noonan Boy didn't tell me that, but I've seen it somewhere else. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see George back. I still think he's got plenty to offer. Whether or not he's still at world level, we'll see. But I just think, the Haney fight, the styles just didn't help him. Loma is an all-time great. He'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. No disgrace losing to him. So I know he struggled with Maxi Hughes. I get that. Again, styles just didn't help him at all. He had a little awkward southpaw who just did not want to engage, who is crafty as well. So let's see. But I think they'll match him right. And if they do, I think he's, as I said, he's got a lot to offer. And let's still hope we get that Liam Paro fight maybe end of this year or even early next year. There's David Jenkins in the chat. How are you, David? Ryan, what do you got there, mate? Your videos are the best I've seen in regards to covering the sport. Wow. Love pro boxing as well. Sean Porter, much respect. You are the go for me. Keep it up. Thanks very much, Ryan. No, I really appreciate that, mate. Well, as I've said numerous times, I'll just try and just be a little bit different to everyone else and just have my little place in the social media content creator sort of world or universe that we're in. And it's all just about just covering the event, but just really detailing my experience, because as I've said before, there's 10 people in front of me looking to interview Tszyu Opetaia, so it really doesn't make a difference whether I interview him or not. It doesn't. But what I would like to do is get a different perspective of the event and bring that to you guys and try and take you into the experience of coming along for the ride. And that's probably what I like to do. And I know it's a little bit hard to explain, but because I always get asked by either other content creators, why aren't you interviewing such and such, or why aren't you interviewing him, or are you going to get? No, I've got no dramas about that at all. I'm not stressed about it, because as I said, I want to bring you guys along for the trip, not standing in line waiting with a microphone in my hand. So I hope not there's anything wrong with that, by the way. It's just not my thing. But I appreciate that people like yourself, Ryan, like what I do. So what's that, Andrew? How come Tszyu Brown not asking the questions? He's a great white. What's that? He's a great white shorts guy. I'm not sure what that means, Andrew. Let me know. Tazzie's not actually up here. I think he's saving himself for the big events there, Andrew. Well, you would have seen his last trip to Saudi Arabia and where else did he go? Germany, was it? Or Russia, whatever it was as well. So I think he's saving himself for the big events, Andrew. But let me know what you mean by white shorts guy. I don't get that, but let me know. All right, Frankie, love your Goldie visit wrap up. You blokes are doing the deadly duo. Yes, don't give him too much credit, Frankie. You'll want to come along and do these videos with me all the time. But look, as you see in the videos, we've got a great friendship, a great rapport, if that's what you want to call it. And Ronnie doesn't really like the limelight too much, but he knows so much about boxing, and I love listening to his stories about when he used to fight at Festival Hall and go to ringside, was it TV ringside back in the 60s and 70s and that sort of stuff. Great. So maybe I should get him on and actually just do an interview with him and ask him about his history in boxing. But anyway, I don't want to give him too much of a big head there, Frankie. Look forward to all your formats, especially walking boxing. Get to sit down at Smoko and look forward to it daily. Thanks, Frankie. That's awesome, mate. And I hope you like Ronnie being along, because it's another dynamic to it. All right, Jules. Before Breedis R1, Jai had more experience, but was his resume much better than David's? Jai pre-Breedis is basically David now. Good point, Jules. Yep, not going to argue with that. Jai wins, but in my opinion, there could be a scare or two. Good fight. Yeah, no, it's a really good point you make there, Jules, and you're 100% right. Jai hadn't really fought anyone of note. I know he cleaned out the Australian sort of scene, but he hadn't. I think he'd had only a couple of international fights. One of those was actually on one of my cards back in 2017 when he wiped out Virgil Hill's boy in one round. I think we had Brock Jarvis on that card as well from memory. But I'm with you. It makes sense. It does. And you're right. Sometimes all fighters need is the chance, and experience might not mean as much as maybe we think it does. The only thing I will say that, Jules, is that Nyika hasn't had a lot of fights go past sort of 4 or 5 rounds. So I've just got a feeling if it goes past 6 or 7, is he going to be able to go with Jai? But again, we don't know until it happens, do we? And Jai was in the same boat. So yeah, I'm with you there, mate. Good fight. Andy, maybe Mick Francis noticed that lack of mainstream reporters previously, so is why he invited all those content creators. Yeah, we need more boxes on cereal boxes, billboards, and TV commercials, in my opinion. Yeah, look, no, you're probably right there, Andy, but I must admit, if I was at the level of, say, Mick is at now, with someone like Jai Opetaia, there'd be a little bit of a budget put aside and hire a marketing team who can do that sort of stuff you're talking about there. Get him on billboards. And around here would have been... Look, at the end of the day, it's a sellout, so it probably doesn't make much sense, I suppose. I'm not sure... I don't think I've seen any sponsorship by the Gold Coast or anything else. I'm sure there's got to be some arrangement for the stadium or something like that, but I must admit... I haven't seen, the local, like Brisbane, the local Gold Coast or whatever sponsorship sort of thing there as well. So, look, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes there, Andy, but I must admit, as I said, I'll be putting some sort of budget aside for that marketing team to get Jai's name out there, and someone who can liaise with the radio stations, the print media, of course, the mainstream TV, to employ a guy that knows the guys. So someone who rings up the radio station up here and says, g'day mate, it's whatever name is, we've got Jai, the world title fighter, I need to arrange a radio interview, get him on your show. they'll do it. They need content, so of course they're going to get him on. G'day, mate. I need a story in the paper. I've got a big world title fight. We need interviews. Arrange that. Same as TVs. So the TV station. So I don't know how it works. I did see my old mate Peter Bedell today. I was going to actually go say g'day. Good old Peter Bedell. But I think the question has to be asked, why no stories from him? Why no stories from Brendan Bradford? I'm sure they might have been in other newspapers, but I've seen nothing. I've mentioned on here before. The Herald Sun in Melbourne, probably the second biggest newspaper in the country. Probably the one in Sydney will be number one, and not one story in the lead up. Disgraceful. But anyway, it's easier from out here anyway, Andy, but it's a good point you make. All right, I'll go down the... all right. Cal, yep, old saying, you got to have the mongrel in you to be a winner. Yeah, well, he's definitely got that, Cal. And even today at the press conference, and I've been waiting for it, and I did say to someone today that if I was actually going to get to the head of the queue and have an opportunity to talk to Jai, my one and only question would be, Jai, the question I'm going to ask is, you're probably not going to be ready for it. It's going to be left field is, are you sick of being asked questions? My question is, are you sick of being asked questions and everything? But he answered it today because he said, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of these interviews. I'm over it. I'll do what I got to do, but I'm sick of it. And the place sort of, there's, Ed. Super chat from Ed as well, $10. Thank you very much, mate. Apologies I missed that before. So thank you very much, mate. And as I said, very, very much appreciated. But yeah, he said, I'm over it, I'm sick of it. He didn't go to the Q&A today, which I don't blame him. I think he would have said enough's enough. But yeah, he's definitely got the eye of the tiger, mate, that's for sure. There's Glenn. How are you there, mate? Welcome to the show. Damien, RIP, my Foxtel cancelled Sunday, cancelled Sunday, sending the box back tomorrow. Had it since 2003. Jeez, Damien, that's a massive. So what are you just going with the zone now? What are you doing? So you're not going to be able to get the fight? Oh, and hang on, well, you get KO. Is that what you'll do? Or are they owned by the same people? I don't know. I don't have KO, but all right, each to their own. There's Tommy. I'm surprised they made it easy on you there, mate, because they normally do anything they can to keep you. All right, we've got a super chat from the one and only D Style. How are you there, mate? Again, if you haven't subscribed to D-Style Boxing, make sure you do it now. $5, mate. Very, very much appreciated. I reckon we might have dinner paid for tonight, the way we're going, guys. So, all good. Thanks very much for that. And D-Style, I saw your comment today about doing a walking boxing, mate. I would love to do it next time we're in the States and you happen to be at the same show. 100% we will do a walking boxing, and you can upload it to your channel as well, and we can do an international version of walking boxing. All right, I'll go back to see if I can find the comments. Sorry, guys, I'm way behind. What do we got there? All right, Tommy, evening all. With mainstream media assuming no limit, won't be wanting Fox to market it. Just wonder if there'd be any money to pay for advertising to the public. Card's great. Public just got to know. Look, end of the day, Tommy, it's a good point you make, but when you look at it, the event's sold out. The only thing they're looking to do now is sell the pay-per-view. So really, when you think about it, DAZN could just be running ad after ad after ad, and that's really all they probably need to do when you think about it, isn't it? As I said, the event's sold out. The people are up here everywhere, so that's done. So that's a win. So, yeah, the other thing is, as I said, the pay-per-view. So what can they do with that except run ads and run... The social media content has been great, I will say. Every day there's just post after post after post. So I don't think they could have done anything more than what they've done. It just comes down to, I suppose, the profile of Jai. Jai is our number one fighter in the country, but he's totally unknown outside the real inner circle of boxing. So I just think they need to sit down as a team, get the marketing people involved and say, what are we going to do? It's an underrated thing, and whoever said it before, you might be right. Maybe they tried the mainstream media and they didn't want to borrow it, which is why they've really encouraged people like myself to get up here. I don't know, but it's a good question anyway. But the card is great. And look, you got to remember as well that it's only $40 as well. So I think they'll sell a fair bit. I think the real boxing people are going to buy it. So I don't know. There's so many things that that could be done differently. And again, it's easier said than done out here in YouTube land. But I don't know. But Mick seemed really happy with the way things are going. Seems to have mended the bridges with Eddie Hearn. Of course, I had a court case only a couple of months ago over Terramona Jr. So maybe they're happy with the way things are going. Maybe DAZN are happy. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's a sellout. They're selling heaps of pay-per-views, so maybe we're reading too much into it. I don't know. But I think as far as marketing Jai himself and Justice on the undercard as well, they need to probably do a little bit more. What's that, Tara? I know his laptop, some of the comments can come out of whack. Eminem shirts in the mail. Thanks, Tars. Yeah, they all go over the place on here. All right, Colin Spring. How are you, Colin? Happy New Year to you too, mate. What about a local series, No Limit versus Tasman Fighters, 5x5? Take it around the capital cities over a 12-month period. Let 7+ or whoever to get on board. Just a thought. Yeah, I doubt 7+ to get on board, Colin, but why not have a joint thing? Well, it's going to be all combined soon anyway, but why not have a DAZN and a Foxtel thing as well? I love the concept. Colin, I'm not sure they'd had probably enough fighters in their stables to do a capital city thing, but there's no reason why they couldn't maybe do two, maybe one in Sydney, one in Sydney, or actually forget about Melbourne, because Melbourne don't give a shit about anything down here anymore, the events, unless it's an established event. Count them out. They've got no money down in Melbourne anyway. They're broke. So maybe one in Brisbane, one in Sydney, or Gold Coast and Sydney. Makes sense, mate. 5x5. Who would be the fighters? Maybe I'll have to put a card together and we can have a chat about it, but give us some examples. No Limit versus Tasman, I like it. I'm not so sure they're on good enough terms at the moment, Colin, but when all this comes together with Foxtel and DAZN, maybe it's them saying, hey, let's get these things together. Because at the end of the day, put all the petty bullshit aside. They need content. So it's a great idea, Colin. And who would you have on the card? What's that, Tommy? Sounding like Kambosos in March. Yep. Sky Nicholson on the same card in Sydney. I didn't hear about Sky, Tommy, but that makes perfect sense, mate. So, and I did actually forget that George is now with Matchroom. I forgot all about that, so of course it makes sense. Eddie did say they were looking to do an Ashes tournament or an Ashes event. So the week of one of the Australia-England Ashes games, the cricket, they were going to do Australia versus England the night before, or whatever it was, a couple of nights before, whatever it was. So that's something to look forward to as well. And it seems like Eddie is becoming invested again in Australia. He hasn't done a show here for about 2.5 years, or 2 to 2.5 years, whatever it's been. Brock Jarvis, Liam Para, that's how long it's been. So he's really excited about getting behind a lot of the Aussie fighters. And this is where it's going to be interesting with the whole No Limit thing. I reckon there's going to be a bit of a scramble to really sign up a lot of those young prospects coming through, but also just those card fillers that you need, the exciting fighters, and because not everyone's going to be a world champion. So I know they've both got their top-end talent, but I reckon there's going to be a scramble for the next couple of levels below, because they need to have solid stables and to be protected from the other one, poaching the other one when there's pay-per-views and everything on. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, mate. David's not sure about Sheeraz's chin. Well, we're about to find out there, David. Axie-Man. Mick Francis was saying in an interview with Jai McAllister yesterday that there is a chance Jai could be fighting Zurdo Ramirez in Saudi on the 3rd of May, provided he wins tomorrow night, of course. Yeah, there was something said today at the Q&A, Axie-Man, that in regard to that question, because that did come up, that possibly Zurdo Ramirez might be mandated to fight somebody else. And if he is mandated, the fight's not going to happen straight away, probably at the end of the year. So that's what they're hoping, that it's not going to be mandated. I'm not sure. I just went straight on my head who that fighter was, but there is talk that either the WBA or the WBO, they're going to mandate him and to fight someone else. Now, whether he just gives up one of the belts, but I'm not sure the fight is as big. I want to see 3 belts on the line. But that is the fight they want, Axie-Man, and they're also trying to get Justice some big fights on those cards as well. So, Batman, I'm surprised David chose to take this fight so soon. They must be confident. It just comes up to taking your chances, Batman. I think in a perfect world, they would maybe... Well, I know the promoters wanted to wait a year, as I said, but I reckon David even though he's only had 10 fights, I think he's had so much amateur experience. He's had so much experience around gyms and sparring and whatever it might be, training camps. I just think he would have thought, well, I'm ready. Let's take a chance right here and now. Because you never know, he might not get another chance. So I truly welcome it. I do think it's early. As Eddie Hearn said today, he agrees that it's early, but you've got to take the opportunity when it comes up. And you don't know you're ready until you're not ready, I suppose, do you? So or you get found out not to be ready. So, no, we'll see. But I think it's going to be a very, very good fight. What do you got, Batman? He does have a good amateur resume, but I've still got Jai breaking him down. Yeah, I agree. Breakaway, good evening to you too, mate. Welcome to my home state. Always a pleasure to be here, mate, and you've turned on the weather for us, that's for sure. David Nyika looks massive at 90 kilos. He must be a bridger or heavyweight. His energy might be depleted later on in the fight, not being his prime weight. Well, it's interesting, though, Breakaway. He didn't look drawn at all today. The weigh-in's tomorrow, of course, so he's got to make weight tomorrow morning, actually. He looked in really good spirits today. He looked healthy. He does look massive, don't get me wrong, but he looked really healthy. Normally around this stage, and Jai did look a little bit, well, he was cranky, but you could tell, you can see he started his weight cut. David didn't seem stressed at all. He hung around for probably an hour after the press conference had finished today, doing videos, taking photos, all that sort of stuff, and did not look cranky or anything like that at all. So maybe he makes the way a little bit easier than we think. He has got very skinny legs, Breakaway. There's not much beneath the waist. And even when I saw him yesterday, he had a singlet on. Even looking at his arms and his torso, it's very, like, there's no fat on him whatsoever. So I think even though he's tall and obviously got the reach and height and everything else, I don't think there's not a lot of meat on the bones, if that makes sense. He's ripped, ready to go. So I think he might surprise you how easy he actually makes the weight, because again, he didn't look distressed at all today. And normally the day before, you can start, as I said, you can start to see the weight cuts taking effect. Was that Andrew? Jai scary might be his niche to be the bad guy. I think he welcomes it, Andrew. I think it suits him. The nicest guy you'll ever get outside the ring, don't get me wrong. Yesterday at the open workouts, hung around, was taking photos with all the kids and signing gloves and doing everything you would expect of someone of his stature to do. But, geez, I wouldn't like to be waiting in the ring for him when he enters from his ring walk. He's a scary guy. Daniel, how you going, mate? Welcome to the show. Tasman fighters look to have done a great job promoting this event, given what I've seen. I think Jai wraps his fight up quickly. Enjoy the sunshine. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not going to argue with you, mate. That's for sure. All right, Axioman. Mick Francis was saying in an interview with Jai McAllister yesterday that Jai might be... Oh, sorry, you've already said that. I've gone through that. Jules, David is an extremely intelligent guy with a good team. They wouldn't take the fight just for a payday. Serious thought would have gone into the decision, and they will not go in underprepared. I 100% agree, Jules. And even Noel Thornbury said today, he said, yeah, okay, well, we realise it might be a tad early. We realise we're the underdog. We also realise, this is a surprising thing, we also realise that Jai Opetaia is the best cruiserweight in the world. So he said that, but he said our challenge is to take that mantle and we become the number one cruiserweight in the world. So I just love the mentality. And look, you've got to respect that about anyone like David Nyika, who has that approach, because a lot of them would have maybe said, oh, it's maybe a little bit early, and maybe we'll hang out, and maybe it's too hard to fight, and maybe this and maybe that. Apparently, it was just one phone call, and David Nyika said, I'm in. So they're obviously confident, and you're right, he looks and sounds very intelligent. And what's his nickname, the nice guy? Well, you're not going to find a nicer guy either, by the way, but you can also see a steeliness about him as well. You can really see that he's really set himself for this fight. So that's why I reckon we're going to get a really good fight for 4 or 5 or maybe 6 rounds. It's just in the second half of the fight that I think Jai pulls away. So Eminem, as part of a 5x5 with Matchroom and Golden Boy, Eddie said, okay, this is maybe the No Limit versus... Oh, sorry, is this the Jai and... Which fight are you talking about there, Eminem? Sorry, I've lost track there. What fight there? Sorry, I'll move on. Let me know. Noel Thornberry put his brother in with Joe Calzaghe, brave but not realistic. Yeah, good point, Andrew. That's didn't even think of that one. That is a very, very good point. And he was a good fighter back in the day as well, Noel Thornberry, along with Rick. He was a good fighter too. All right, breakaway. Jai is Caucasian and Polynesian. Surely that's a mix for a scary aura. I'm Fijian, and I'm going to find me an Irish beauty. Let's go, Oz Boxing. Good stuff, breakaway. Yeah, well, what I love about Jai too, breakaway, is obviously embraces his Samoan heritage. Very proud. He wears this I don't want to get it wrong, but the skirt thing that they wear, the dress thing. I don't know. I don't want to insult anyone. I don't know the name of it. He does wear that on occasion. He obviously has the Samoan and Australian flags, but he's also got all the tribal tattoos, all his posse. He's got a really scary guy too that is like his minder, I think we'll call him, who follows him everywhere. Not the sort of guy you'd want to get too close to Jai and have the wrong intentions, to put it that way. He's a scary guy. Not that Jai wouldn't be able to handle himself, obviously, but yeah, I just love it, breakaway, that he embraces his Samoan heritage, and also he's a proud Australian as well. He says, this is my home, and obviously born and bred here, but embraces that heritage as well. So it's good to see, mate. And it doesn't make him a Samoan, just like it doesn't make him just Australian. And this is an argument we had, was it last week or the week before, about someone, probably about Jai, that he's not Australian, he's Samoan. No, you talked to Jai about that, and he's a proud Australian Samoan, as he should be. Batman says, really like the intensity of Jai. Yeah, that's for sure, mate. And look, I really felt for the people that interviewed him today. He didn't hang around too long, and I don't blame him, by the way. But he did a couple that obviously had been pre-arranged, and he got out of there. But I would have not liked to have been on the other end of the microphone, because it would have been a bit cold, very icy. He marched up there, and even when they did the face-off, he went off the stage, and Eddie was like, Jai, and he must have seen the look that he got from Jai when he turned around. He cut for it. Mick Francis came and said, mate, we need you to come back, because he was actually on his way out the door. I think Eddie knows best now not to maybe push the issue with Jai, so he let Mick do it, and Mick sort of like, mate, you got to come back. So he went back, and the look in his eyes, and he marched straight up, and the way he was marching up to Nyika, I thought we could have round one right here and then, because he wasn't happy. He marched straight up, and you would have seen the face-off, I'm assuming, somewhere on social media today, and I'll upload it with our video later. But the look in his eyes, and they were so close, and David, to his credit, didn't take a backward step, but he talk about intense, Batman, 100%. What's that, Andrew? Oh, white shorts away team. Yeah, that's Tassie. Yep. What's that, Damien? Tassie Brown went to the airport, then fell off the walkway. Oh, geez. I did speak to Tassie last week. I think I might have said that, and we had a bit of a laugh about it. He thought it was great. He said, hey, look, I picked up a shitload more followers, and the video went viral and all that sort of stuff. So, hey, sometimes you can't buy that type of exposure, but how funny was it? Oh, I'm going to stretch out my foot there, getting a little bit of a cramp there. Sorry, guys. All right. Yeah, that was pretty funny, though, wasn't it? He took it like a champion, though, didn't he? Yeah, I showed Ronnie today, because he hadn't seen it, strangely enough, and the way he fell off, but he got up, he had a quick look around, knew he'd been sprung, he'd been seen, sort of dusted himself off, adjusted the jacket again, and then put up the dukes. I love it. It was fantastic. And he had no idea that it had been filmed. And he had no idea that, Teddy Atlas was being interviewed in the foreground, and he was in the background. Because when I first saw the video, it wasn't on Tassie's page, it was someone else's page. And I saw it, and I was watching Teddy Atlas, and I'm thinking, what am I watching here? And then I watched it a second time and saw Tassie in the background. Oh, my God. But again, he took it like a champion, didn't he? Eminem, the question is, did you get a pic with the King Jai Opetaia? I did, Eminem. I didn't post it. I don't normally get photos. It's not normally a thing. I love going up, shaking the hand. Like Eddie Hearn today, I just went up. I'd met him before, but I just said, mate, Lynden Hosking, boxing deep dive. And he said, yeah, g'day, Lynden, nice to meet you, even though we'd met before. But I like to go and just say good day. That's what I like to do. And just it's still good to make contact with these guys. You never know what could happen. I'm just not with the microphone, but I got Ronnie to take the picture, and I love Ronnie for doing it. But it wasn't really. Where was it? There it is. There's the photo there. Me and Jai. I've got the stupid bucket hat on. I should have taken it off. I didn't post it because I didn't really like the photo. But there's me with my stupid bucket hat with the king, Jai Opetaia. I tell you what though, Ronnie got a couple of really good shots today with Eddie, David Nyika, and it might have been Jai. No, was it Jai? I can't remember anyway. But he got some really good photos. Yeah, there's the photo. But as I said, mate, I really like to meet them and shake their hand. But that's about it. But I couldn't help myself. I had to get one with Jai. Great bloke. All right. Tommy B. Eddie, what's that? Eddie would want to put a Jai on the next 5x5 card because his fighters have really struggled so far. Yeah, well, who's Frank Warren got at cruiserweight? Tommy? Let me know. All right, actually, what have I done there? Hang on, I've gone right back to the start. Hang on, I'll go down to the comments. All right, I think I'm there. Where is it? Again, as usual, falling way behind, so sorry about that. All right. Peter, sorry to raise the DAZN issue with you. Yeah, it's all good, mate. Yep, all good. Flash, g'day to you too, mate. If I recall correctly, one of your past trips was to visit Graceland, and this coming fight on the 8th happens to fall on Elvis's 90th birthday. Is that right? What a way to celebrate. Yeah, I did, mate. I went to Graceland last year, September. No, it was the start of when was it? It was when George fought in Oklahoma. So that was 2023. That was Flash. I thought it was last year. But yeah, I went to Graceland, mate. It was one of the best things I've ever done. I landed in Dallas, drove to Oklahoma for George's fight. I went to Oklahoma City and all that while I was there, which was awesome. I drove to Memphis, which was a 6-hour drive from Oklahoma. Did the Graceland and all that sort of stuff. Went to Beale Street and all that as well. Sun Records, all that stuff. Then drove another 6 hours to Louisville, Kentucky, and did Muhammad Ali's or Cassius Clay's childhood home, his grave, the Muhammad Ali Center. I did all that as well, mate. So whenever I go over there now, I like to incorporate all this stuff. But I love Graceland. I'm not really an Elvis man, but I love Graceland. It was just great for the history part of it, to walk into his house and still see the green carpet on the walls and the ceiling, and the ugliest living room you've ever seen, but it was Elvis's living room, the jungle room, whatever the hell they called it. So, what's that, Peter? Jai would love the fact that Nyika is pumping his own tyres while Jai looks locked and loaded. SEN didn't mention the fight. That's just shit, Peter. It really is. I've got a bit of a contact down at SEN. He does the horse racing. His name's Paul Sebastiani. He's a Carlton man like myself. He's got a YouTube show called The Jumper Punch, which I watch every week during the season. Now, he works at SEN. I might have to message him or ring him and say, mate, you need a boxing. Maybe I'll volunteer myself. Maybe I'll volunteer to do a boxing show down there. Although, was it someone else doing a boxing, or maybe it was UFC, MMA or something. We're doing something with SEN, but they need a boxing presence. Maybe I'll put my hand up, Peter. I'd love to do it. I might be on at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That's probably when I'd get my spot, but hey, I'd do it, 100%. All right, Sam. Love George Kambosos up in weight. I think if Jai and David go toe-to-toe, Jai all day, maybe 3 rounds. Just hope it's not a catch me if you can. I think my opinion, Sam, is I think David will be cautious. I think he'll box from long range, which I think is the worst thing he can do, but also probably exchanging with Jai is probably the worst thing he can do. I think he'll box from distance. I think the worst thing he could do is let Jai take center ring and dictate the pace. I think Jai will have too much power. I think his ring IQ is better than David, as good as he is. I'm just not sure David on the back foot can outbox Jai. I really don't. I think his only chance, maybe I'll do a preview of this anyway. I'm sure we will with Ronnie when we're doing our walking boxing. But an early take on it would be that David's game plan would maybe to be cautious for 2 or 3 rounds and then maybe try and pick it up. I'm not sure it works. But anyway, Paul. News Limited bias against the zone, lack of coverage. Yeah, good point. I didn't mention that, Paul. News Limited are aligned with No Limit. So that's why when No Limit has a show, you'll get 10 stories a day of undercard fighters and you name it. You'll get everything, and you get nothing with DAZN. We need to be better than that. I've just got, this thing. And I understand there's No Limit being with News Limited, but it shouldn't be to the detriment of other fighters in the country. And even today, I had a talk with a guy from Fox who was there. Surprisingly, had his Fox shirt on. I said, "What are you doing?" I'd known him. I'd met him in the past from a couple of the past promotions we'd done. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, we've still got to cover it." So Fox Sports were there, but which was, as I said, really surprising. But this whole News Limited thing, yeah, look, I understand they've got an agreement with No Limit, and they should flood everything with No Limit stuff. I understand that, but they should still be able to give fights like Wednesday some coverage. And it might be, hey, give them minimal coverage, but at least give them something. It's just so poor that we've got nothing. All right, Big J, what do you got there, mate? I best not hear one bit of complaining from anyone up there because I've been freezing my ass off down here. It's bloody freezing and raining all day, so not one of complaining, you lucky bars. Isn't it interesting? That's Victoria for you guys. 39 one day and probably 15 the next. That's just the way we roll. But I'm just glad up here it's 28 degrees every day. It's been absolutely perfect weather. All right, Tommy, I'll get through some of these contents quickly. Sorry about that. I would assume there's no stories from a lot of the journalists who have employees who don't want them to ruin the monopoly, which leaves just the independent fellas who love all Aussie boxing. Yeah, but I think even though, again, I'll welcome what Mick Francis has done by getting us all up here, you still got to have a mainstream presence. You do. And I'm not sure whether he tried it and the mainstream have just said, we're not interested. I'm assuming if it's a world title fight, say I'm just picking like Channel 7, surely with their news segment, they've got to be able to, it was a world title fight, well, we've got to get our asses down there and cover it. Even just locally, zero, nothing. And you can pick them, they've all got the Channel 7, 9 or 10. I can probably understand Channel 10 because they're almost on the scrap heap, but 7 and 9, they've always got the logo on the microphone. You can tell them a mile away. They've got the big flash cameras and all that sort of stuff. Not here. It's just, yeah, it's hard to get your head around the fact that we've got Australia's best fighter in a world title fight and zero donuts from mainstream media. It's just crazy. D-Style just got out of work. That's awesome, mate. Thanks again for tuning in. Big J, the chump got an Eddie interview today. Not a bad interview. I did see that, mate. I've chatted to Jai a few times, mate, and doing a great job. Really, really good job. Him and Noonan Boy just miles in front of everyone else. Before the fight, doing really good things as well. But Rob's a little bit more in an official capacity up here at the moment. And actually, if you don't, I'm sure if you follow this channel, you follow before the fight, make sure you check it out. I did an interview today with Rob. He said, come on, you're going to do an interview. I said, I'm not really sure. And he said, come on. So I did had a quick chat to Rob today, so make sure you check that out on before the fight. And Rob and I had a bit of a chat today, and I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we are going to do maybe a collaboration on something as well. So if you are a fan of Before the Fight or you do watch them, just keep a lookout. We've been talking about it for a while, but I think now's the time that we can do, especially if I'm going to start getting to some of these fights. We'll just have to work out how it's going to come together. But yeah, keep a lookout that Rob from Before the Fight and myself will be doing some stuff down the track. All right. What's that, BJ? Can someone please super chat $500 so I can fly up for the fight? This is killing me. Yeah, I can imagine, mate. I can imagine. Yeah, that's why they invented GoFundMes or something. Maybe they need another like GoFundMe type of thing where it's for social media creators to get to events to cover it. They do have, what is it? Is it the Patreons and that sort of stuff? That's what you need, Big J. You need to get a Patreon going. Get a monthly subscription going so you can save up for this sort of stuff. All right, Damien. Since we left Foxtel, I'm over the footy. What's that? Yeah, since WWE left Foxtel, I'm over the footy, obviously being an Essendon supporter. And I hate No Limit, no point in having Foxtel anymore. No, that's not a bad point, mate. Well, especially with KO, you just pick the channels you want. I don't know how it works, but what we need, Damien, we need something like Foxtel, and I'm sure it'll come down the track, that you can just pick the channels and you pay per channel. So with all the other shit they put on, I mean, how many times you've been on Foxtel and you go through the 80 or 90 channels or hundreds, whatever the hell they've got, and you can't find anything to watch? Because the only ones I would probably get would be the football and the football. That's probably about it. So maybe I just need to get KO, because the movies are shit. You can get them on Netflix and Stan and whatever else out there as well. And it's, for me, it's just the football, and that's about it. And obviously Fox Sports when they have the boxing on. So maybe if it was, they might charge you $10 a channel per month. Makes a lot more sense if you ask me. All right. Paul, what do you think about the undercard? All the betting odds are very one-sided except for the female fight. Yeah, I do agree a little bit, Michael. Where is the card? Oh, I won't go through it now, but look, yeah, you're right to some extent. But I mean, I don't know anything about the international guys they've got out. Hang on a sec. I'll just grab my water there. The female fight, Taylor Jensen and the Irish girl, looks like it'll be a good fight. Austin Akuso and Letty will be a really, really good fight. You've got to remember, of course, Austin Akuso is a prospect coming through. Obviously, his brother's Paulo Akuso. We know how good he is. But Letty, the fighter that gave Conor Wallace his only loss. So, a very, very good fighter as well. So, that will be good. I'll just see if I can quickly bring up the fight card here, guys. Sorry about this. I'll see if I can find it. Where is it? Tasman Fighters. Let's see if I can find the card. So it's on here somewhere. There it is. All right, so just quickly. So a lot of the international fighters coming over. The one that's fighting Ben Mahoney, don't know anything about him. Where's he? Zhang, don't know anything about him. The guy that's fighting Max McIntyre, could barely get a word out of him. I don't think he's going to offer much as well. I think the guy that's there to fight Terramona, bad thoughts about what's going to happen to him. He's the German guy, I think. Also, the South African fighting Justice Honey, I don't think, from what I've seen him shadow boxing yesterday, I think that's going to be an early night as well. So just to go through them, so there he is. So we've got Williams versus Guthman, Chester, Tszyu, Shalali, McAllister, Townsend. Billy McAllister, I did a quick interview. He was there when I talked to Luke Meldon yesterday, so I had a quick word with him. He looks like he's going to be a real talent. I don't know about Towns, his opponent, but apparently he's a local guy. Goes okay, so that should be competitive. Ingram and Tszyu, I think that's how you spell Zale. Don't know anything about those. Fletcher and Dodo, whatever. Jensen Brown, as I mentioned. Terramona, yeah. So looking at that, yeah, I think, again, I don't know much about a lot of the undercard fighters coming from overseas, but I would think the fights to watch apart from the main one would be Akuso and Letty, and the girls. The rest you can, I suppose, pick and choose. I don't know, but all the betting odds. Well, that tells you all you need to know, Paul. But just from what I've seen though, on talking to Mick, he's really excited about the undercard and what it has to offer. So I'm going to take him at his word that the fights are going to be competitive. I still have my doubts about the Justice Honey fight and the Terramona fight, but all the others, we'll just wait and see. I don't know much about any of the guys on the undercard. Benny Mahoney, of course, Max McIntyre. But, yeah, I don't know. The jury's out. I'll be there. It was at 4 o'clock the card I think the card starts at 5. Doors open at 4. So I'll be there, and I'll cover it the best we can anyway. All right, Peter, they need to take Jai to America to fight Don King's cruiserweight. Who's the cruiserweight there, Peter? Let me know. I didn't think Don King was doing that much at the moment. What are the ticket prices like for ringside? No idea, Damien. I think they weren't too badly priced, though, from what I hear. They sold out really quick. I don't think they even made it to the side. I think they were all part of the corporate packages and all that sort of stuff. But, hey, it's a sellout, so they've done something right. Jules, doesn't help that the fight is hidden behind the DAZN subscription and pay-per-view. Good point. Multiple hurdles for domestic neutrals, free worldwide. Yeah, that's a very, very good point, Jules. But, yeah, what are you going to do? The problem is, Jules, is that they know they'll get, and $40 is good, considering we pay $70 for far lesser cards on No Limit. I've got no problem with the cost. But at the end of the day, they've got to still make some money out of the event. I've got no dramas with it being a pay-per-view, but if it's going to reach the masses, you're right. It's going to be tough if it's hidden behind the subscription and the pay-per-view. If you do subscribe to DAZN on a trial basis, Jules. Is it a weekly or is it a week or month, whatever you get free? You can get the fight for free, I think. No, does that make sense? No, you might still have to pay for the pay-per-view. I'm not sure. Anyway, but either way, I've got no dramas with them charging to watch the fight, mate. But I agree that it doesn't help getting Jai's name out there, does it, or his profile. Thanks, Bacon Eggs. Hit the like, 100%. We've got nearly 50 people watching, so hit the like and subscribe. All right, yeah, 93 rounds of boxing Wednesday night, long night. Yeah, well, so it'll start at 6 o'clock here. Is that right? That will be no. I think they've got hang on. I think we've got 11 fights. I think the main card is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. So the undercard will be the main televised undercard. This is Akuso and Letty, Mahoney versus Zhang, McIntyre versus Saman, Huni versus Potgieter, if that's how you pronounce it, and Opetaia versus Nyika. So there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights, or 6. I think one got cancelled. At least 6 fights. It'll be early, but geez, I would think they're all 4 and 6 rounders. Having said that, too, the Terramona fight might only go 1 round from what I'm looking at, but yeah, they're looking to get the undercard done in a couple of hours. So that's maybe they're all just 4 rounds. I don't know, but there is only 5 fights on the main card. VPN, yeah, get on Surfshark or what's the other one? There's another one starts with N, I think, doesn't it? But I'm with Surfshark, so get on that and you can get any VPN in the world. It's awesome. All right, that's fair. Sorry, I'll get rid of that one. All right, so I've just lost my place. Oh, sorry, sorry, Cal, I almost banned you. Then I pressed the wrong button. Sorry about that. All right, I'll just get back to our comments there. Where are we? Sorry, guys. I've got behind there. I'll move down. This is riveting stuff, I know. All right. Oh, geez, come on, Lyndon. What are you doing? Sorry, guys. This thing, hang on, I'll go to new comments. There you go. There we'll be right. All right, I'll just move up a little bit there. Sorry, guys. I'm almost there. Almost. Scrolling through the comments. All right, we're back. Peter, 100% Opetaia gets a KO inside 8 rounds. Choc Mundine saying his son CJ coming back and going to focus on boxing. I forgot about that, Eminem, that he was making a comeback because he made his debut was a couple of years ago. Sorry, back to Ryan. I got Parker in a unanimous decision. What do you think? This is Parker against Dubois, I think you're talking about. I've been very vocal about that too, Ryan. I think Joseph Parker is a massive chance to beat Daniel Dubois by points. I think if he's going to beat him, he'll be on points. Double G, how are you, mate? I think it's a win-win for Nyika, whatever the result. Good on him for stepping up. Great walk and talk with Ronnie. So I'm a bit over all these compliments for Ronnie. Bet you miss Neil, but at least you don't have to pick up after Ronnie. Yeah, good call. It's hard to pick up after Neil as well, Double G. I was taking the bags out. I know there's real riveting stuff again, but he pretty much gets the back legs going and obliterates everything that he's done. So it's not much use taking the bag these days because he either does it in the bushes or somewhere or he obliterates it with his feet. So, but yeah, Ronnie's a lot cleaner, mate. But yeah, Neil apparently hasn't even been looking to go for a walk since I've been up here. So that's typical, isn't it? Tara said he just sort of looked at her and went back to sleep. So I think he does it on purpose to torment me. But I mean, I enjoy it. I really do. What do we got there? All right. So Tommy says, so much to be excited about for this card. One of which Ben Mahoney, who I'm looking forward to seeing the plans for him moving forward after a frustrating layoff. Yeah, he needs to be more consistent and fight more regularly, Tommy. Just doesn't fight enough. But I think he only had a fight, was it a couple of months ago, 2 or 3 months ago? So it's good to see him back. So yeah, let's hope he gets some regularity about his fights there, mate. Eminem, Jai versus Zerdo as part of a Golden Boy Matchroom 5x5 in Saudi. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, mate, if that is the case. I think it's going to happen. I think both camps want it to happen, so it's going to happen. Cal, thanks for doing tonight's show. It's my weekly constant. Happy safe trails. Thanks very much, Cal. I wasn't sure how we'd go, and obviously we got off to a bad start here with Ronnie's internet, but looks like my phone's doing the job at the moment. Yeah, Andrew, I'm with you there, mate. Love Jai and Zerdo. Yep, 100% I agree. Jai's the type of man to get up from a plane crash and slap the pilot. He is too, Ryan. Good call there. David says, Zerdo is 0 chance against Jai. I will be having a big bet on the fight. I agree, David. I think Jai wins that fight very comfortably. I just don't think... Like, Zerdo's, look, he's a very, very good fighter. Obviously, he's got the resume and the runs on the board. I just don't think at cruiserweight he's got the speed with either his feet or his hands to worry Jai whatsoever. I think Jai, with his angles, his movement, I just don't think Zerdo wins more than a couple of rounds. Just my opinion. I know he's tough, he's hard, he'll be there late. I get that. But I just don't think he's going to have the speed of hand or foot to get near Jai. David, Bivol had him bedazzled and Jai moves like Bivol but hits a lot harder. Yeah, that's another good call. I forgot about that. Bivol did make him look pretty average, didn't he? What's that, Andrew? Did Jai know who you are? Yeah, no. It's funny. Well, I obviously promoted Jai back in 2017, so he knew who I was. Probably look a little bit different to back then, but no. He said, "G'day, Lynden, how are you?" His dad was as good. His dad actually come and shook my hand and said, "Mate, love your work." So that was a massive compliment that his dad watches the show regularly. So if you are watching Tapu, thanks for coming to say good day and shaking my hand. What's that? Stephen S. Smith did the boxing show on SEN. Never heard of him, mate. Daniel, I think Baz is the man at SEN for boxing events. I think he'd be perfect. Thanks, mate. Yeah, actually, you're right. I have heard on SEM before. I don't think he necessarily has a segment. I think they ring him on like the the morning show. Jared Waitley or one of them will ring Barry Michael and just get his thoughts and opinions on the fight. But I think we do need, and Baz would be perfect to do it, by the way. I think we do need a regular, maybe not just boxing, but a combat sports show. I think they've got every other sport on there. SEN proclaims to be the home of sport. Well, it's a sport entertainment network. We need to get on the Hutchie and get a spot, I reckon. But Barry Michael would be absolutely perfect, 100%. He'd be great. Damien says DAZN needs to bring in the 24/7 shows and bring in Max Kellerman. Didn't they do some shows in the lead up to Fury and Usyk, Damien? I'm pretty sure they have done those type of shows. I think in the past. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Even Netflix did it for Tyson and Paul, didn't they? But yeah, they need to spend a few more bucks on it, Damien. I mean, they're forking out all these hundreds of millions of dollars for all this content. They need to get their production right. I know they do different shows and all that sort of stuff, but they need a 24/7. They really need to step up. And let's hope when the Foxtel thing happens, maybe they go away from just being a streaming service to being a proper channel, and we can have regular content that way. So Jules, Kuso, hang on. Has Akuso pulled out from his fight? Just saw something about a cancellation on Letty's socials. Is that legit? I didn't know that, Jules. I did hear there was a fight that was cancelled. I didn't know which one. Maybe it's that one. If that is the case, that's shocking. Well, that's really disappointing if that is the case, because I was really looking forward to seeing that fight. Peter, Stephen J. Peake and Troy Zantuck on SEN with the boxing. Well, when's it on, Peter? I've never heard it. What's that, Damien? Is Channel 10 not doing good? No, apparently they're on the skids there, Damien. Not doing well at all. Apparently they're going to be sold again. And let's face it, what do they got? Some reality TV shows, and that's about it, really. Jules, just checked Box Rec, and looks like the Kuso-Letty fight is off. Okay, well, that must be the case. It was looking like a good fight. Letty underrated. He is. He's a good fighter. As I said before, he gave Conor Wallace his first loss. So, Batman, excited. I'm going to Tokyo for the Inoue Goodman fight. Great stuff, Batman. Well, you got to get to Australia at some stage, right? Now that we've got your man, Eddie Hearn, out here in Australia talking about Australia versus England, the best reason to come out here, mate, for the Ashes and then go to the fights. What's that, Damien? 100%. That's what I always wanted with the channels, and now as well, all the repeats and ads. Okay, you're talking about the paying for individual channels. Tommy, Robin, before the fight, do a great job of just supporting every boxer in Australia. So you fellas together would be great. Thanks, Tommy. Yeah, I really like what before the fight do, because what they concentrate on. I know at the start, Rob, and I first met Rob about 10 years ago. We saw, about 8 years ago, actually. He was in the States. Strangely, he was at Fortune's boxing gym, and we're over there with the twins, and he was there when we went there one day, and we got talking to Rob, and I've spoken to him ever since. Excuse me, but I like what he does. I know he tried to get the boxing show off the ground, but it's an expensive exercise. If you haven't got a lot of sponsors, it's tough. It really is. So what he looks like he's now obviously started to do is like you said there, supporting every boxer by doing his almost every couple of days. He does a live with all different fighters out there, and I think it's fantastic to give them a platform. And I know, and what I love, he gets the two fighters on at the same time, and they trash talk against each other, and no, it's good. And obviously with Skinny Hussein and those guys on there too. So, and as I said, I've always got along well with Rob. He's always supported me, gives me a shout out on his channel all the time, and I have been on his channel a few times as well. But yeah, it's good. Look, we've got to support each other. I don't see any of us really in competition with each other. I think most people watch all different channels and get something different out of each channel. So I just think that the more people do this, the better. And working in together is for the better. What's that, Damien? Look, my luck, Benavides Morel will be free on Fox Sports, and that event is on my damn birthday. Yeah, well, it's at the end of the month, mate. Well, happy birthday for that. But yeah, you never know. I won't. Will it be free? I'd say it might be, Damien. I doubt they'll make that a pay-per-view. I reckon that'll just be, will they? So who's promoting it? Is it PBC? Which would be on Amazon, wouldn't it? And it's not. I think Top Rank are the only ones that go on ESPN on Fox. Who knows? But you never know, mate. But yeah, it would be your luck by the sounds of things. Sky News is great on Foxtel for us, right? We normal people. Yeah, Pete, I do watch a bit of the Sky News. I watch most of the time Sunday mornings with Rita and that on the the show they do. What's the name of it? And they do the lefties losing and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty funny. Dennis, mainstream media so bloody woke these days here in Vic. Maybe boxing is somehow now considered too toxic. Yep, good point there, mate. Boxing Monkey. Do you think Justice can really crack, or does he struggle when he moves up in class? I've heard on UK sites of him versus Moses or Fabio Wardley. Bit early for that, Boxing Monkey, although I wouldn't be surprised if they step him up maybe at the end of this year against. I don't think they're going to put him with Moses. I reckon that might be a couple of years down the track. Moses is only 19 or 20. Justice is just turned 25. So, but Fabio Wardley does make a bit of sense. He's not a big cracker Monkey, but standing beside him today and yesterday, he is a big unit. And talking with his coach, Mark Wilson, yesterday, I didn't interview him, but I just spoke to him, and he said they are really wanting for him to set down on his punches. And but look, I think he can survive without being a massive puncher. It would help. But I think his overall boxing technique and IQ will be enough to get him a long way in the heavyweight division. But I suppose we'll see as they step up the opposition there, mate. What's that, Andrew? If the guy's South African champion, must be okay, mate. He didn't look that great to me yesterday. Look, he's only shadow boxing, so you never know. But yeah, I think I think it might be an easier night for Justice. All right, where am I up to? What's it there? Dubois going to steamroll Parker? Okay. I won't ban you, Cal. I meant to hit you and scroll past you, and I've hit ban, so I almost banned you there. Peter drove home from Adelaide today for our roads are shit. Yeah, they are, mate. Don't get me started on the Vic government, mate. Paul says, I think it's Parker via decision or Dubois via KO. Well, what is it, Paul? You got to have one or the other, mate. Batman really liked the Jai Zerto fight. I still edge to have the edge of the Jai, but Zerto is looking much improved. Still think Jai will stop him. If he keeps the right distance, can make it even easier. I agree. We've got someone there, Kid Manila. Who's that there? Mindoro, Philippine middleweight, a beast. Okay, well, we'll look out for him, mate. Parker is a more mature, more mature, smarter technician. Just think he gets up. Parker's last 2 fights, plus his new mindset, it's like Parker has flicked a switch. Yeah, he's got a new lease of life, Ryan, that's for sure. Yeah, I saw this too, Tommy. Saw on Boxer at Camille Bella, Danilo Creati on a Sam Labruna show. Have you heard anything on Ibi now that he is a top 15 ranking? No, mate, I've heard nothing. And with so much going on in Aussie boxing with obviously No Limit, Tasman, Ace Boxing, Wildfighter, I'm surprised that no one's picked Ibi up. He's had 2 really good wins in a row over Yusuf Dib and Jalen Tate. So I'm surprised. But no, I've seen nothing, Tommy. Not yet anyway. Kid Manila, anyway, in a way, Munster been dodging Filipino. John Real Casemiro for 5 years, in a way, is pound for pound. I don't think he's been dodging him, Kid Manila. I just think it might have made sense yet. Paul, just to clarify, DAZN charging $35, okay, for Australian and New Zealand, even if you have a subscription, but it's free everywhere else around the world. If you have a subscription, love your work. Thanks very much, Paul. Well, look, if you've got a VPN, like we said before, and you set that you're in another country apart from Australia and New Zealand, you will get the fight for free. You can maybe start a new account. I shouldn't be saying this, should I? I'm taking money out of their pockets, but look, if you want to watch it for free, that's the obvious thing is you get a different VPN through Surfshark, as I'm with. Say you're in America, and you can sign up for DAZN and you will get the fight absolutely free. So just a little glitch. So apologies to Mick Francis if you're watching, and Eddie Hearn, I've just done you out of a few pay-per-view buys. Cal, everyone's talking about Dubois. I think his sister will go further. I know he's a heavyweight champ, but she goes, all right. Who's his sister, Cal? I didn't know he had a sister. Jeez, there you go. Tony, Lieutenant Dan, did Lieutenant Dan get suspended for the huge stuff when he named the wrong winner? I don't know, Tony, but he hasn't really been seen since. Steve Pios has got the gig here, and I don't think he's done the last couple of No Limit shows. So yeah, your guess is as good as mine, Tony. But geez, it was a monumental gaffe, wasn't it? Jeez. He handled it okay. I would have liked this. If you don't know what we're talking about, by the way, he announced the wrong winner in the Shanika Johnson Nina Hughes fight. So I've got a feeling, though, what he should have done is say, everyone, I apologise, there's been a mistake, and read out the correct cards. He didn't say anything, he just read out the cards, like nothing had happened. And I don't think that went down too well. But you never know, we might see him back again. Oh, Eddie's got Chev Clark. Okay, sorry, Andrew. What's that, Kid Manila? I met Fury when he first arrived in America for the Wilder fight. He had one fan and me. He's a scumbag. Had to beg for an autograph. Okay, well, everyone's had their own different run-ins with Tyson Fury. I know Tazzy Brown said he met Tyson Fury at the Wild Card. He said he couldn't be any better. So anyway, each to their own. Eminem, what happened to Bill Al-Akaway? Bill Al-Akaway, I should say. Don't know Eminem. He was supposed to fight earlier last year. Of course, the fight, he pulled out of the fight with Reynold Quinlan because of the weight issue. Troy Pilcher stepped in, and we haven't heard a peep from Bilal Akaway since. Bizarre, mate. Batman, no doubt a boxing trip to Australia. It's on my list. Also have a friend who moved to Perth. Well, apparently there's going to be more boxing in Perth, mate, so might be a good opportunity to go over there and see you, mate. Peter, SN did the boxing about 10 years ago. And now they have, I can't see that emoji there. Now they've got nothing, I'm assuming. Yeah, crickets, is it? Is that crickets? Yeah, not good. Hey, well, I'll put my hand up. I'll host it with Barry Michael. There you go. Or Daniel Smart, you're in the chat there. Maybe we'll do it. But they need something. I'm not sure I'd want to do something like that, but there's an opening. All right, I'll keep going down there. All right, Batman. And I'm hyped. Never been to Japan. Always wanted to watch the Munster live. He's once fought in Scotland. He did fight in Scotland, of all places, and I didn't go. Regretted it ever since, but did go to Canelo. Good stuff. Batman, have a ball, mate. I was thinking about maybe going to Japan for Jason Maloney's fight. We'll just see how it pans out. Damien, there's no way Channel 7 and 9 promoting an alpha like Jai. No, good call. Outsiders, that's it, Peter. The Outsiders with Rita. Yep. Honey versus Wardley would answer a few questions. Don't be surprised if something like that happens, Andrew, because I know getting the sort of vibes today from Eddie and Justice and Mick Francis, they are looking to step him up in the second half of this year. So, and I want to keep him active, and they want to get a few more fights in him. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this year. That could make a lot of sense for someone like Wardley. Andy, Max McIntyre looks like a good young fighter. Well, I hope he fights as good as he talks, Andy, because looking at him in the last couple of days, he's had plenty to say. Yeah, look, he's a good young talent, but like all young fighters like that, mate, you can't really get a gauge of them until they fight someone of note. He's only had a handful of fights, but so far looks the goods, but I'll probably want to see a bit more of him before I make a judgment there, mate. He definitely talks a good fight, though, mate. No mistake about that. Wardley Honey is a good test for both Honey. Honey has a pedigree, and Wardley's out here putting dents in heads. Let's see. Look, I'm just putting it out there now. I'm backing Justice Honey to win that fight. I think he can win. Lieutenant Dan. Damien, I wonder if Victoria will lose their granny. We are stuffed here. Yeah, I don't think we'll lose their granny, mate. It's all they've got to hang their hat on. But let's face it, they've got the Grand Final, they've got the Australian Open, they've got the Formula One, they've got the Melbourne Cup. That's all great. But haven't really done much outside that. They got the Kambosos Haney fight. I think that's the last time they had big boxing in Melbourne, wasn't it? Peter, did you see the Massey interview after the Opetaia fight? Massey said Jai was elite and beats Zerdo and every cruiserweight. Skills pay the bills, yeah. No, I just think he's, for me, clearly the best cruiserweight in the world, mate. Clearly. Maloney versus Tension, same arena as the Inouye fight, just a month after. Junto is also on that card. Yeah, Junto's fighting, is it Koala or something his name is? That'll be a massive event too. I know Jason's really excited. We're going to try and actually catch up with Jason in the next couple of days. Batman, if I do, I'll definitely put a video up. But I think they're obviously in training at the moment. Andy's looking to fight soon too, and Jason's was he fighting end of Feb, so he's in full training now. They were going to try and make it to the press conference today, but obviously didn't make it. They were training early this morning as well. They're sparring tomorrow in Brisbane, and then Wednesday, I think both of them are coming. Oh, they are both coming to the fight, so we might catch up with them there. But yeah, we'll try and catch up with them, mate. But it's a tough fight for Jason, being in Japan. Really, really tough to win over there. But I think he can do it, and if he wins that, then who knows what can happen with him after as far as getting a world title fight. I think if he beats Tension, is it Nakasawa or whatever his name is? I think if he beats him, I'd almost put my house on it that he'll fight one of those other Japanese champions for a belt, no doubt, on one of the cards later in the year. Carl, g'day, mate. How's the nice, cool weather in Queensland? Loving the weather, Carl. I wasn't the other day out in the sun for the open workouts, but mate, what do they say in Queensland? Perfect. Is it beautiful one day, perfect the next? I think that's what they say. Well, mate, just absolutely beautiful. Great lifestyle up here on the Gold Coast. Walking into Surfers Paradise today, it was just a beautiful walk, and the beach right there and beautiful weather. Just, yeah, awesome, mate. I do like the cold sometimes, though, Carl. I do like winter down home. I will admit, I like having the the sun, but I also love the winter as well. Putting the fire and that on. You probably don't have fireplaces up here, but I do like it in winter. I like having 4 seasons. Actually, in Victoria, it's probably more like about 6 seasons, to be honest. But anyway. All right, Jules. I think Max declaring that it's strap season is a bit early, given he's 6 fights in. Yeah, I understand he's got to talk it up there, Jules. But yeah, look, I'm a little bit old school that way. I like fighters to actually prove themselves first before they start talking that way. But hey, it's got him on this card, hasn't it? So good on him for doing it, I suppose. Batman, that beating Jai gave Jack Massey was vicious. It certainly was, mate. Certainly was. Cal, her name is Caroline Dubois. Fights Jessica Cameron on the 12th this month. Saw her on NITV. Okay, Cal, well, I didn't know he had a sister, but I'll be looking out for her, mate, for sure. Andrew, no respect for Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, I got respect for him, Andrew. Yeah, no, I know Dan used to be my promoter on my show, my announcer back when I was doing my show. So no disrespect to him, but it's not my opinion. I'm just saying he's not being used at the moment by any of the major promoters, and let's hope he comes back. But at the moment, he's on timeout, isn't he? Ryan, who's the best you've never seen in the ring? Great friends with Danny Green's brother, Brendan Green. Apparently, he could have been even better than Danny. Yeah, I've heard Danny talk about that. Peter, Ryan, was it? But mate, look, how many could have, would have, should have been fighters are there out there? We'll never know. But the best you've never seen in the ring, I don't know. One fighter I will say, Ryan, who should have been an absolute superstar and just fell off a cliff, was Cliff Samarden. When I was coming up, he was an absolute superstar. I think he was a descendant of Lionel Rose, which obviously makes sense. Absolutely brilliant fighter. And he trained with Keith Ellis and was looking the goods, and all of a sudden it just walked away from the sport. So it was a tragedy, because one of the best and most gifted fighters I've ever seen. I say, Carl, Surface Paradise always turns it on. Certainly does, mate. They're not shy up here, are they? All the people that walk around, they let it all hang out, guys and girls. So, but geez, there's a few people with the old leathery skin there, Carl. There needs to be a bit more slip, slop, slap going on up here. I think they all just walk around, no shirts on and no hats, and sit on the beach. Like I said to Ronnie, how do they do it? Like they sit on the beach, no shade, no umbrellas, nothing. And they sit out there for hours in the sun. It's just, I couldn't do it. But anyway, Carl, how's Ronnie going? He's living the dream there. Carl is absolutely loving it. Peter, Victoria lost the darts, speedway bikes, UFC, boxing, but Alan bought the Indian British product in Victoria with our money, sucking for the votes. I agree, Peter. It actually come up today about the darts, because Eddie Hearn must promote it in England, does he? And there was talk that maybe he could be in conjunction with Mick Francis of doing an Australia versus England darts extravaganza here. So who knows? Yeah, Andrew, I think Brendan Green had a stint with the West Coast at one stage. Might have been reserves or something. A very well-known WA footballer. But I did hear that as well there, mate. Paul, people forget that Honey is only 25 and had his share of injuries. Yeah, he did. If he stays healthy, he got crook a few times as well, especially during the pandemic. If he stays healthy, who knows how far he can go. He's yet to hit his peak. He can get some big fights on this stage if he impresses. Yep, it's all good. What are you doing? Ronnie's sneaking past me to go to the bathroom. Where is he? Hang on, there he is. Hey, Ronnie, there he is. I better get away and close the door. He's not going to be happy about that. Just keep it down in there, Ronnie, will you? Oh, I'm just joking. I better shut the door. All right. I'm with you there, Paul. He's got plenty of time, mate. He has had injuries and illnesses. I'm sure he'll be fine. Batman, Ryan Gray, they say one of the Triple G's brothers, Max, was said to be a beast. Triple G's brothers passed away. Yeah, I did hear that too, Batman, that his twin brother, and Triple G said that himself, that he could have been better than him. So I suppose we'll never know. And he gave up boxing so that there was enough money to support Triple G. So there you go. Carolyn's trained by Shane McGuigan. Okay. Keep going through. We've got about 15 minutes to go. Damien, go into Melbourne, guys. It's not Australia. It's just different down there, isn't it? Melbourne. I hate to say it because I'm a proud Victorian, but everything's just gone to shit down there. It really has. We've got no money. We're broke. We've got these absolute peanuts running the state. We got rid of one peanut and inherited his understudy peanut. So, and Jacinta Allen's actually a Bendigo girl like me. I have actually met her in the past, but yeah, doing let's get the Labor Party out, guys. Bring back a bit of sanity to the state. All right. Andrew, yep, boxing's like that. The best gym fighters, but can't shine under the lights. Yep. Batman, turning pro. Turning pro and fought Billy Joe and a few other guys, but was never the same. Another what if. Sorry, mate, I must have missed your first comment there. Sorry about that. Monk, g'day mate. Why does Inouye put all his 4 belts on the line when fighting mandatory fighters? He's a fighter's fighter, Monk. You good, mate?
Yeah, all good.
Hey, you're getting more love on here than me tonight, Ronnie.
No, please let me out.
All right. Yeah, I just think he's a fighter's fighter, Monk. But it's a good call. Maybe he's one of the fighters that maybe his management works in with the sanctioning bodies, and maybe there's an agreement that he can put all the 4 belts on the line all the time, and as long as he fights the number 1 from each division belt every so often. I don't know how it works, but it's a good question there, Monk. Jules. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that comment there. Sorry. Yeah. Is that about Carlos Padilla? Well, hang on. I'm going to go back and see that comment. Oh, all right. Hang on. The GOAT of referee Filipino, Sonny Padilla, Ali fight, Duran fight, Sugar Ray Leonard fight. That was Carlos Padilla was his name. And yes, Kid Manila, you're not going to like this, but he should be in jail. Your man, Carlos Padilla. Yes, not someone to be admired as a referee. Admitted to helping Manny Pacquiao beat Skinny Hussein, who 100% deserved to win that fight. So, no, I'm not going to agree with you there. Kid Manila, he is a scumbag. Your man, Carlos Padilla, not a nice man at all. What else you got there? Aussie mates stay in surfing sport, leave the fight. Okay, all right, we'll move on. Damien, tell Ronnie to put the fan on so I can hear him tearing up the toilet from here. Oh, yeah, I think he thinks I'm on DAZN or something myself here. Hey, it's just a casual chat with all you guys out there. So I can tell him there's about 50 people that just heard him go to the toilet. But anyway. What sport did Mick Francis play? I heard him say today he was a good athlete in his day. I don't know, Peter. I've got no idea, mate. What's that there? Hang on. What's that, Double G? The Council of Casey wanting to bring in a $400 charge per year for people to work on their own cars on their own property. Does that surprise you, Double G? That does not surprise me. I haven't heard that before, but it does not surprise me. This state, fair income. If I didn't love where I live so much, I'd be out of there. Peter says, I didn't see a drop of graffiti in Adelaide, and the city railway stations shit on Philander Street smelling piss trough. Yeah, I have seen other YouTubers out there, Peter, that have gone on our subway system and all that sort of stuff, and they reckon it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. The way you have to buy your cards and you pay, I haven't been on it, but the way you do it, and the way, like you say there, the way it smells and the graffiti, not a good place. I mean, Melbourne used to just be a great city. I've never really been a city person, but I loved going to Melbourne. I love getting out of there, but I love going there. These days, I don't even like going there, not even for the football or anything. So, Ryan, Lennox Lewis or Usyk? Lennox Lewis for me, Ryan. I think he would beat Usyk. Styles, mate. Styles. Batman agrees. So does Ryan agrees. What's that, Dennis? My brother Brendan Green can't hold his hands up, and he's an even worse footballer. So is this the same Brendan Green, Dennis? Are you a relation to Danny? Let us know. Yeah, when you go, you got to go. You got to go. He would have been holding on to it. It would have taken him a lot to come in here anyway. Andrew, Lieutenant Dan here. Can't believe the disrespect I've received. Lieutenant Dan here. Okay, well, I can't believe the disrespect I've received. I'm not sure who's giving you the disrespect there, Andrew. I think it was just, or Lieutenant Dan, if that's you. As I said, I've had Lieutenant Dan as an announcer on a lot of my shows, and he did a great job. He started with Duco, with Dean Lonigan and who was his partner, whoever it was, but he started with them. Then he went to No Limit. He's done some work. I'm pretty sure he's done some work with Tasman as well. So certainly no disrespect here, Andrew / Lieutenant Dan. I don't know why you're on the shelf at the moment, but let's hope we have you back soon. What's that, Andy? Geez, cancel out to milk dolls any way they can. Yep. And these are the same councils, Andy, that don't celebrate Australia Day. They don't mention it. They and councils shouldn't be like that. Councils shouldn't have a say in whether anything about these events. make sure people put out their bins, make sure they're picked up, make sure the roads are fixed. Oh, that's Vic Road, just whatever it does. Just do that shit. Collect rates, all that crap. Stay out of the politics and stuff. Celebrate Australia Day. I don't need you telling me I can't celebrate Australia Day. And if you don't want to celebrate Australia Day, well, how about all you peanuts go to work on the public holiday instead of taking the day off? Don't get me started on councils, Andy. They are the worst scum on the planet, councils. Opetaia versus Ronnie, a future great Aussie showdown. Don't think it'll happen, Monk. It could. I think Ronnie and Terramona could be a future fight. Terramona he's had 5 or 6 fights now in the pros. You've got to remember he had 4 or 5 before he went back to amateurs. So don't be surprised if that might be the fight down the track. Although all the Pacific Islanders are all very brotherly to each other, so I'm not sure that happens. But any of those fights will be massive. I think Terramona is going to be a very, very good fighter on the world scene at heavyweight. So keep a lookout for that. But yeah, makes sense, mate. Maybe we could get Terramona or Ronnie against, say, Dempsey McKean if he wants to hang around. Who knows? But what's that, Damien? I mean, Lieutenant Dan. Sorry, called out the wrong. I'll let you guys go about it in the chat. Hanoi. Can't wait for Australia Day. I love it, Hanoi, and I'll be in our stores that we own. I will have the stores just fitted out from top to bottom with flags and bunting and blow up kangaroos, all that sort of stuff, mate. I love Australia Day. I get that some people aren't happy about the date that it's on. That's not my concern. At the moment, it's 26th of April, 26th of January. So for me, if it's that date, I'm going to celebrate it. I'm certainly not going to be buying into all this other crap. And I think I said in one of my videos the other day, I've gotten to the point where I don't like January anymore because we spend the whole month debating this shit. I'm Australian. I love Australia, and I'm going to celebrate Australia Day. You guys that want to protest and carry on, do it. Just stay away from me. What do we got there? Peter. All right, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes to go, guys. Movement parade gone. Yep, and Australia Day parade gone. The woke are winning in Victoria. They are. We used to have a massive big Australia Day parade. Gone. And they used COVID or the pandemic as an excuse to put it on ice. Hasn't come back. Everything else has come back. And these pricks have taken the opportunity to shelve it for good. It just makes my blood boil. It really does. I'd love to, Damien, but I love where I live too much, mate. Yeah, Ronnie Terramona more likely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, legit. Terramona's only 6 to 12 months away from being at Ronnie's level. I'd give him maybe 12 months, maybe 12 to 18 months, Jules. Then I reckon he'll be at Ronnie's level. Still very raw, but I think good trainer. Gareth Williams, really good environment, good backing. I think he's gonna be there pretty quick. Maybe 12 months, I'd say, and he'll be right where Ronnie is now. Australia is super woke from what I can see, mate. We are one of the wokest countries on the planet. Probably Canada's the only one that's probably more woke than us. And I see that Trudeau is about to resign, which is good. Can Albanese maybe follow suit? And we need a Trump-like in power. We really do, to clean up this country. Anyway, we'll get off politics. Peter, I love the weekly bitch about Victoria and us telling the truth, mate. I agree with everything you're saying, mate, and I agree. I like having bitch about it as well. But it is very woke. I think it was Batman, yeah. Not only are we woke, Batman, I almost liken us to I call us a jellyfish country. We have no backbone. We have no backbone whatsoever. But having said that, from what I've seen and heard a little bit, your country, England, is going that way as well. But we're just there now. We are so left-leaning here in Australia. It just makes me sick. What's that? Dennis, not related to Danny, but have uncles, cousins that played AFL. Good stuff, mate. Got a few comments to go before we finish up. Hang on, I missed that one there. Do an interview with Danny Green. You have history. That would be great, Dennis. Whatever. Yeah. I could probably do it. Although we did do an interview with Tszyu just recently, so I might wait. But yeah, that's a good call, mate. I wouldn't mind doing that. Peter Opetaia would school Ronnie, who is a very good fighter. Yeah, he is, Peter. What's that? What about Indian invade? Oh, jeez. Dempsey is fighting in Bali. Is that right, Peter? Jeez, that can't be right, can it? I think wokeism is on the way out. I hope you're right, Jules. I've got a feeling and I'm hoping that now Trump's in power in the States, that maybe it'll have the trickle-down effect to the the world. I wouldn't hold my breath in Canada, but in Australia and England, maybe there's other politicians out there that get a little bit more braver now and say, yeah, okay, I can now speak out a little bit more, step up, because there's going to be that element of the community the majority of the community that's going to support me. And they supported Trump, and I think if they did it here and in England as well, New Zealand, wherever it might be, I've got a feeling that, there'll be a few more politicians getting a little bit braver and a little bit more confident about getting themselves out there and being supported. Because in the past few years, they've just been shouted down. And the majority of people that agree with them haven't stepped up. So now that we are, let's just put them back in their place and tell them to shut up. Batman. Exactly why a nation's not supposed to celebrate. It's really annoying. Rumours of it happening here also. Everyone is just furious with the nonsense they are, mate. But let's hope. Change the government, change the leaders, all that sort of stuff. Let's hope here and there that we can get our countries back, mate. Damien, the Western countries are all pathetic. I agree. They are pathetic. They're all so concerned about every other country out there that we're forgetting about our own culture, our own heritage, and maybe another 100 years, it won't even exist. That's what I'm scared of. Weak, says Damien. I agree. All right, a couple more comments, guys, and we will finish up. Dubois won light heavyweight last year. Aussie Days before my partner's birthday. We party. Good stuff there, Cal. Mate, I celebrate Australia Day with my English students here in Japan, playing 2-up and having a barbie. Kids love it. That's awesome, Monk. Great stuff. Should be more of it. Tommy's on the socials, home gym looking good. Lynden. Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's just my home gym. Eventually, I used to have a proper gym when we lived in Bendigo, was it 7 or 8 years ago? But my wife actually, Tara, if she's still watching, she did the gym and done the stuff, the weights for my sons, my boys, and eventually I wouldn't mind getting back into some coaching and working with some fighters, but I just love having the gym, and there's not really much down my way where I live in the Macedon Ranges, so maybe in the future, mate, I might do a bit of one-on-one work with some fighters. We'll keep moving down to the boxing question. I'll leave the political stuff to you guys. What's that there? UK is going that way. 90% of the people here want no part of it. Crazy. Yeah, it's all about the minorities, mate, in their left-leaning ways. And yet the woke are blinded. I agree. Double G, when we lost our manufacturing, sold off our poles and wires, that was the end of it. Well, we've got so many great natural resources here, but we either export it and import other stuff, or, I mean, at the moment, they're outlawing gas. You can't have gas in your new houses. Isn't Australia sort of built on gas with some of the best gas resources in the world? Coal? Doesn't make sense to me, but that's Australia for you, backwards and woke. Huge scandal going on over here. Actually, a disgrace. If you look into it, unthinkable what's happened. Literally stuff of nightmares. Okay. Elon Musk is constantly talking about it. That's real sad. Disgusting that it's happened. Know everyone who let it go down and hope they are all held accountable. Okay, I don't really know much about that there, mate. Oh, okay, Tara has been following. It's horrendous. I love that Elon isn't letting them hide it. Okay, well, we won't get too political on here, but if you check it out, but that is, well, let's hope it's nothing serious over there anyway, Batman. But I think the moral of the story is that these days, well, has been in the last few years, all about the minority with all the shit they want to go on with and identifying as pot plants and doorknobs and everything else. It's time to take our country and world back, and let's get some normality. I understand things have changed, but to not be able to celebrate your country, that is just bullshit, and I won't wear it. So, yeah, Ross, don't let Tara started. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks, Peter. Have a great. Yeah, thanks very much, mate. I really appreciate that, mate. All right, guys. Well, that is about it. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Damien. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in tonight. I can't believe that's 2 hours already. Apologies about the little glitch at the start of the show. but I'm glad that we got it right in the end. So guys, make sure you watch out for the daily vlog that'll come out probably in another hour or so. I'll put it up, and then tomorrow's walking boxing and everything else that's coming up. There's so much happening anyway. But guys, again, appreciate everyone that's tuned in tonight. Have a good week, and we'll catch you next time.